Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson. This is a little bit of transfer talk, and it's going to go a little bit different than it normally does because the first one that we're going to talk about is a director of football. Now, this isn't really like a normal transfer, but that guy will be hopefully transferring to Manchester United, and then that guy is going to be in charge. He is the king of the transfers, and that is Andreas Bertra from Atletico Madrid. Andreas Bertra at Atletico Madrid is one of the main reasons him and Diego Simeone, who's a man that I would eventually like to see taking over from Jose Mourinho one day, is a brilliant partnership at Atletico Madrid, and it's between those two why they've been successful. You've got a tactical genius in Simeone, and I think you've got a football man on the board in Andreas Bertra that shits all over likes of Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward is a commercial guy, but he is not a football guy. And I think for, I think for a football club to run, you really have to have a football guy in at the top. Now, Sir Alex Ferguson was essentially a director of football that picked the team. He knew what the fuck was going on with the under-10s. He knew what was going on with the under-18s. He had his finger on the pulse with the under-21s and the reserves. And he also went and sorted out the transfers and looked at the longer term picture for the club. Him in conjunction with David Gill was a great partnership because Gill was a football man that understood the football and allowed Sir Alex Ferguson, who'd also earned the right to do what the fuck he wanted with Manchester United, and that was how he ran it. You needed 2 or 3 guys to replace what Sir Alex Ferguson did at Manchester United, and that is sort of what they've done. They've sort of appointed one guy, director of the academy, Nicky Butt. There's one guy doing that job. The second guy coming in to do Fergie's job is Jose Mourinho, that big, confident, tactical, brilliant manager. He's in there at the moment and he's doing good stuff and he's transforming how Manchester United are playing. And I do think once he gets that fortress Old Trafford sorted out, then we're going to go on and we're going to do some stuff. The third guy is the director of football. Someone who can go to the board and go, are you fucking kidding me? This needs to happen. And that's Andreas Bertra for me. What he's done at Atletico Madrid, not just to make them competitive, but to keep them competitive when every single year they sell their best players. Every single year, virtually every single year. They've not done it the last couple of years. When you saw Aguero there get sold off, you saw Torres there get sold off. Whoever just scouts strikers at that club needs sorting out. Falcao murks it. Diego Costa absolutely destroys it. Anybody who goes there, and look at Griezmann at the moment, they've just got a knack of finding amazing strikers, but they always sell them on, and that's one of the things that keeps that club going. Between Bertra and Simeone, they elevated them from a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th position club to consistently finishing in the top 3 and actually breaking the monopoly of Barcelona and Real Madrid, as well as getting to 2 Champions League finals. That's some going. And it's some going to keep that competitive on a club that's not really that big in the grand scheme of things. Atletico Madrid, they might be based in the capital of Spain, but they're a pretty small club on the grand scale of things in terms of sponsorship attraction, worldwide fan base, and all the rest of it. If you support a Spanish club, then the very likelihood is that you're going to be Barcelona, Real Madrid, and that is it. But what they've done between the two of them is outstanding. And I think what Bertra would bring to Manchester United is a strategy. If we're going to be in this sort of era where we might actually be getting rid of managers on a little more of a regular basis than we had under Sir Alex Ferguson, which, let's face it, is absolutely guaranteed, then you need someone who's going to sit looking at the overall strategy, and that person cannot be Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward might be a genius in terms of pulling in sponsorships and this, that and the other, but he's not a football man. You need a football man to run a football club. Now, he can run that in conjunction with Ed Woodward, and Woodward can just swan off and go and sell noodle sponsorship till his eyes fall out. But you need a football man to control the direction of the football club. And you maybe need a football man to say, listen, the players are having a day off today. They're not going doing fucking sponsorships for tractors and concentrate on the football side. You need someone that's going to back the manager, who's going to back the players, and who's going to understand the football side of things. And also control this whole recruitment thing and this whole scouting network and look at the longer term strategy of the club. Why are we buying him when he's 33? When we've been looking at this kid here who's 22, he's probably going to cost us about the same, and actually he's going to have a resale value instead of just blowing it all on that guy. No. Let's get that guy. Strategy. Really well thought out stuff. That's why you need a football man in charge. And if this is true, and it's stacked up that Mourinho was talking about bringing in Bertra, I think at Inter Milan. So if there's talk that he's now bringing him in, it was there in the summer, and it seemed like this was something that was really going to happen. Now it's there again. I don't think this is just recycled bullshit. I think this is something that's likely to happen, and this gets me very, very, very excited. Because I look at some of the best run clubs around the world, Bayern Munich, etc., and they always have football men involved right throughout the length of the club. And that's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be emulating. That's the things that we need to fix in the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era. And speaking of recycled bullshit, Ozil is linked to Manchester United again. Now think about this, right? Arsenal are not going to sell to a Premier League team. They're certainly not going to sell to a Premier League team that is better than them. That would be us. And he's certainly not going to sell to a team for a cheap price, are they? They're going to absolutely slap our asses if we want to take Mesut Ozil from them. And I think Mesut Ozil is a fantastic footballer. I really do. I think he's one of the best attacking midfielders in the league, if not the world. However, we've got a couple of players that play in that exact position. I'm talking about Juan Mata and I'm talking about Henrik Mkhitaryan. At the moment, both of them aren't playing together. Why would you buy a third? Because you're not going to get him out of Arsenal for less than they paid for him. I think they paid 42 million for him. So what you're talking about, 50, 60 million? Don't fucking think so. There's other areas of the side, specifically someone like a Gareth Bale style winger, because I don't think you're getting Gareth Bale out of Real Madrid at this point. You need someone that's going to pick the ball up and run at people in that sort of style. That would be where I put my money in. Possibly a Griezmann, possibly a Lukaku. Not another Ozil. That's absolutely ludicrous. Why would you sign someone who's basically just fits in the exact same category, which is probably the strongest area of the side at the moment? It'd be like you telling me that we're going to sign Manuel Neuer and Jan Oblak and we're not going to get rid of the Gay. It makes no sense whatsoever. Only one of them's going to play at the moment, so you're not going to blow even more money on someone who, do you know what, might not even be as good as Henrik Mkhitaryan. Oh shit, there I said it. Right, anyway, next one. Lindelof. Now this one's not going away. The Portuguese link, the Benfica link, the centre-half link. Said a couple of weeks ago that I was pretty certain that Manchester United was going to sign a centre-half. I still think we're going to sign a centre-half. I hope we don't sign a centre-half, but I do think we are going to sign a centre-half. It seems to be that we're going to sign a centre-half. I don't want it to be Lindelof. I'm fully prepared to hold my hands up and be wrong. I don't see anything in this. Now, I've gone out and deliberately watched this guy, and I don't see what the fucking fuss is about. He's good on the ball. Don't need you to be good on the ball. We need you to be able to defend. We've seen with John Stones that if you're good on the ball, it means jack shit when your team can't defend, and then everyone starts pointing the finger at you. You need to be a good defender first. If you're good on the ball as well, that's a massive bonus. I don't think Lindelof is a proper out-and-out old-school defender. I think he's more in the John Stones mould. Yeah, he's a little bit fancy on the ball. He charges out of defence with it. And I don't think we need that. I think we need an absolute solid leader of a defender. And this isn't Lindelof. Michael Keane's been linked. And again, I think that's just because he used to play for United. And it's sort of something that people could believe. But he's having a great season at Burnley. Is he better than what we've got? I don't think so. So I don't see much point in that one. Now, there's a little bit of talk of Morgan Schneiderlin joining Memphis, who I believe is going to Everton. I have no idea if Morgan Schneiderlin's going over there, but it would seem to stack up because he's getting 0 chances at Manchester United at the moment, and I don't understand why. When you want to bring a game to a close and you want to put on someone who is able to do that, and you bring on Fellaini ahead of the likes of Morgan Schneiderlin, pretty much tells us that even if he brings Bastian Schweinsteiger, who we was all buzzing about, but if you just look at it logically and you go, hang on, he brought Bastian Schweinsteiger completely out of the wilderness ahead of you, and he's now sitting on the bench ahead of you, and you're not injured, this might stack up that he might be on his way out the door, which is a bit of a shame because I thought Morgan Schneiderlin was someone that Jose Mourinho would have been absolutely all over. Loved him. Not the case. The swap deal side of things, with Memphis going one way and Schneiderlin going one way and potentially Lukaku going the other, is sexy, isn't it? Because it's logical, but just because it's logical doesn't mean that it stacks up. I'd be very surprised that Everton would be willing to let Lukaku go unless there's been some sort of behind-the-scenes fallout with Lukaku and Ronald Koeman, and there doesn't appear to have been that. Obviously, there's the friendship between Lukaku and Pogba, and he was present when Pogba was signed. I mentioned that in the video that I did that night. There was something bizarre when I said, I hope you're next, Lukaku. They all sort of laughed in a way that struck me as really fucking strange, and I couldn't think about anything else for a few days. Like, that was fucking bizarre. So there might be something in that, but maybe I'm reading too much into that. Maybe they was just taking a piss out of him for something, and I happened to say something that tied in with it. I don't know. Either way, Lukaku, I think, would be a brilliant replacement for Zlatan if you want to go down that battering ram sort of number 9 once he moves on. But it'd be interesting to see. Other outs that people are talking about, Bastian Schweinsteiger, I think, is a fairly likely one with the MLS like being a likely target. People are talking about Fellaini, but I think the manager's showing that he likes him. The things that he said and his actions show that he actually thinks that Fellaini's got a lot to offer in the side. And I don't think that's a realistic transfer. I think because he fucked up, I thought the papers just jumped on it and was like, everyone's going to read this, he's fucked up, it's headline news, so let's write a load of stuff about it, and then people are going to click on it and read it and stuff like that. So I think that was likely to be what the case was. I don't really think Fellaini's going anywhere. I think he's a valued part of the squad in Mourinho's eyes at least, so I wouldn't expect him to be going anywhere. And that will do for today. A little reminder, giving away one of these if I get to 25,000 before Christmas Day. This is a signed Ryan Giggs boot. To be in it, all you got to do is subscribe and then comment telling me why you should win the boot. Simple as that, you get a boot. So please subscribe. We are nearly at 25,000. I want to get there before Christmas Day. It would mean the absolute world to me. Youth Review is going to hopefully be out in a couple of hours. It might be tomorrow. And then we've got the podcast at 9 o'clock tonight. So please check both of those videos out. Thank you for watching. Any questions or comments that you would like, hit them in the comments below. Or even better, come and join the fun at the Reddit group. There's almost 300 in there at the moment. It's growing every single day. So come and get chatting to us on Reddit. That's where we're doing a lot of the giveaways. And that's where you can keep up to date with anything that you want in terms of the schedule and all the rest of that shit. So head over to the Reddit and I'll see you in a bit. Laters.